Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you got to read through some of those reviews. For those of you who are watching this video on our free side, or you're watching this video on YouTube for the last couple of months, just as, lurkers, which is totally fine, folks. I really want you guys to see exactly the kind of information that we offer in our advantage side. As you can see, all these gains, folks, these have been up for the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, all the way into 2018 and 2017. All right, so we've been doing this for a while, and I just want you guys to see that in our community, we don't slack. Whenever we do make mistakes, we tend to repair them with better gains, better trades. All right, so if you do want to join Cryptosomniac, go to cryptosomniac.com, hit the products page right there at the top, and then you can buy the technical analysis course, and I will give you 7 free days with all these locked channels that you see. Okay, so we have ICO channels, a stock market channel where we actually have a dedicated stock market and an equities analyst. Okay, he actually just did a video with a former hedge fund manager back here, as you can see, right? Interview with the former Citi hedge fund manager. So you can watch interviews like that in our advantage side. You can ask him questions about the stock market, about the economy, how it's doing, or other questions that you have regarding equities. All right. And then aside from that, we have other crypto related information, tons of trades and tons of great information that we provide, also in our education channel. And like I said, I have the entire course that I did on technicals that you can go and watch. All right. So with that being said, let's get to it. All right, let's show you guys what this community is all about. Yesterday, I wanted to show you guys exactly where we were in our setups so you can see where I averaged into my short. Okay, so I started entering my short right around 8,100, and I was anticipating a retrace back up, and then I finally ended my entire, loaded up my entire short all the way at an average of 82.56. Okay, so I'll show you exactly how I got in. So it was this particular move that I was looking for. I initially had the count like this. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Elliott waves, they come in 5-3 counts, meaning 5 waves in one direction and 3 waves in the other direction. So this was a down count on the 5 wave right here. So you can see wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th ending right there at the bottom. So I knew for the most part that A, B, C needs to come out of it. I didn't know exactly where it would go. So what I did was I put a Fibonacci retrace on it. Okay, so how do you do a Fib retrace? So you go from this top to this bottom, and I said, okay, more than likely price is probably going to retrace between the 50 and the 618 Fib. So notice I did an A right there, B right there, and I put the C between the 50 and the 618. Okay, and you can see price actually dug in a little bit farther, which is a great bonus for me because I was only anticipating between the 50 and the 618. So when price takes off all the way up here and gets rejected by the 70.5, which is another fib that I like to use, this is just an added bonus for me to add more shorts. Okay, which is exactly what I did. So I added on my shorts right here and got in a perfect average of 82.56. And then I closed half my position, or actually 1/3 of my position, at 81.26, which was down here. Okay, all this happened overnight for me, so I didn't want to speculate on what price was going to do overnight. So I took profit after this big sell-off after this happened. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how do we know how to do that? And why exactly do we short and not long? Well, folks, that's what we do in our community. All right, we know exactly how Elliott wave works. We know how other technicals work. I've been watching this sideways ranging for a while. I also saw this movement right here, and I took a long on this right here, and I sold somewhere up here. Then I waited and waited, and once this ABC came about, I shorted here again. Okay, so that's the thing, folks. If you understand exactly what price is trying to do, and you don't sort of impulsively push through trades that you don't want to be in, and you kind of just wait for the perfect opportunity based on technicals, more than likely the chances are you're going to win more trades than you're going to lose. Or even if you do lose trades, they're going to be smaller losers than your winners that are bigger. Okay, So we have easy gains like this, as you can see, you know, all across the board. I mean, we've just been really just destroying the last couple days in our community by taking some you know, some scalps, as you can see, some good long positions, shorts, just easy winners, easy pickings here and there. Because, you know, for the most part, I don't really like trading choppy movement. All right, and really what's happening right now is this is all chop. You know, whenever you have like just a ranging movement like this, you have to be really careful, especially if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get chopped to death. But again, you know, in our community, we're keeping our losers small, and we get nice, easy trades like I just showed you earlier, where we got in a nice short right there, and we took some profit, okay? So now what we're seeing is this, okay? Let me go back to the 15-minute chart, and I'm going to give you guys another free opportunity, okay? So because I'm a nice guy, all right? So from that top, what we're going to do again is go to this swing wick right here, okay? So from this top to this bottom, what price is now doing is, again, it's trying to retrace between the 50 and the 618 fib. So more than likely, I'll probably start, you know, loading up on more shorts right here. Well, I don't know. I feel like I already have a heavy position from my 8250 marker. But I'm saying for you, if you get an opportunity, you could load up on shorts right here. Okay. Again, not investment advice, so you can do whatever you want. But the ideal place if you want to short is in this area right here where price is right now. So by the time you watch this video, either price has gone down here, or it will poke through all the way up to the 70.5 fib and then push back down. All right. So what's really happening right now is when we saw this sideways movement, all right, all the way up right here, this wick came down and stopped out all the people who were longing this, okay? So there's really no hope for, you know, those who are longing, because this wick just basically stopped out everyone and grabbed a lot of liquidity just to be able to push up again, right? So price typically has a tendency to kind of do that, right? It disappoints both sides, whether you're long or short, okay? And you could see right here, okay, what price did was, you know, over here, this was the previous lower high swing, okay? Price went all the way up here, poked through this area and this area, stopping out all the people who placed a stop if they were shorting right here. So typically if you're shorting, right, you like to place a stop, you know, somewhere below a key lower high. So I would have placed my stop right there, right? But that doesn't work. You got stopped out by this wick or this wick, okay? If you were longing, right, say you were longing right here, you place your stop just below that, you could see this wick dug through pretty deep. So you got stopped out on this long as well, okay? Or more than likely, you probably panicked when you saw this price, you know, sort of heading back down. And this is really what happens is, you know, whether you have a stop set or not, more than likely you're going to capitulate once price starts creeping down here, okay? This is really what, you know, price action does to most people, is it really just preys on your emotion. You know, it preys on the weak, it preys on those who react very impulsively in the market, right? So with that being said, now we have to wonder what price is doing, right? So if we're on the 1 hour chart, we're in this descending parallel channel right now, but also we tapped into a good amount of liquidity in this purple little box right here, the supply, or I'm sorry, now demand block, okay? But more than likely what I foresee, again, like I said, will probably retrace to that 70.5 fib somewhere around here and then potentially push back down, okay? Because I think this block right here has gotten significantly weaker and weaker, okay? Because you could see that, you know, it touched here once, went up here, touched here twice, dug through deeper to catch more liquidity, and now it's going to push here again. Unless price breaks out of this descending parallel channel up here, I wouldn't even touch longs, okay? And I wouldn't even touch longs beyond this red block, which is about 8250, maybe 8275 to be safe. Why? Because this red block is the one where we've talked about that reactionary zone. You can see it's support right there, support, resistance, resistance, support. You know, this is just choppy resistance maybe it's support. I don't know. It was just really just sitting in this area, so I don't really want to call it either. It's probably both support and resistance. And then you can see it pushed up a little bit, but then broke through. And now the red block is really just holding us down as resistance. So unless somehow price closes above this parallel channel, goes up, comes back to use this red block as support, I wouldn't even touch any longs. And if you do touch longs, your targets are probably going to be, somewhere up here, okay? Probably $8,600 to $8,700, right? Because if price is truly to head on up, it's going to stop out people who shorted and had their stops up here too, okay? Because it's going to go for a lot of liquidity if it's going to go back up. Because the thing is, if price has to push one way or another, right, it's going to do its job to inflict as much pain on one side or the other. It's not just going to go up for a small peewee move like this and then push back down, right? It's really just going to, the professionals are going to drive the price up to really just have people sell into whatever they're buying, and then resume the direction down. Because remember that the market right now, especially because it's just sideways ranging in this chop, the professionals are really, or algorithms, are really just driving the market in a search for liquidity, right? So when you're searching for liquidity, you tend to look for the spots that have, the most vulnerability, right? So in this case particularly, like I said, this area right up here has been largely untapped and maybe even slightly above this wick, right? I could see, I don't know, maybe in the next couple days, somehow price quickly wicks on up here and then pushes back down. I don't know about that high. It's probably going to go something like this, boom, and then push back down. Because why? Because, more than likely if people had their stops, or if they're shorting 25, 50x, 100x, chances are their stops are going to be somewhere up here or in this region, this block right here that's been, like a gap right here, right? So it's very possible, okay? But right now, it kind of just looks unlikely, okay? What we're seeing right now clearly is, a decent form of lower highs being created on price. Here's your high being created, here's your lower high, potentially another lower high coming soon, and we're just going to keep pushing back down. But that doesn't mean that we have to sort of, go back down straight to 7,700 or, lower. We could chop around a little bit more, push back up and then down, right? As per the daily chart, here's sort of how I'm looking at it, okay? I got my trade at 82.50, so I'm sitting at a pretty good spot, and it's a fairly heavy trade. So my goal is to keep my stop above the weekly and the Tuesday high, okay? So what I did was I placed my stop somewhere up here. But I also have to think about if I'm wrong, right, and prices go breach, like I said, reach for liquidity all the way up here into 8,700, I'm screwed, right? So what I typically do is I hedge longs the other direction. Okay, so whether you have, BitMEX or Bybit, or if you're just spot buying, whatever, right? I like to hedge in the other direction because you cannot just rely on your short not getting stopped out. You have to play the direction. You have to play the market as is. So more than likely, if prices start digging past 82.50, 82.75, I'll open a long position from there, ride it up wherever it goes, and I'll try to raise my short stop, or I'll just stop myself out manually on my short and just ride out the long and then get a better entry on my short somewhere up here, above this weekly and Tuesday high. More than likely, the chances right now of prices going all the way past the weekly high are very slim, okay? Because it's going to take a lot of effort to get up there. So more than likely, price is probably going to just stay chop around in this, area under this red block, okay? I'm fairly confident about that. But again, just in case I'm wrong, you now know my game plan, okay? And now with the weekend coming, folks, I like to utilize Skew and their data sets. You could see that on average, Saturday and Sunday, I don't know if you guys can see that properly, but they have a website as well. You could go to heat maps right there. You can see on Saturday and Sunday there's typically lower volume. So I don't really care much to trade on the weekends because really a whole lot doesn't even happen. This just goes to show that this market is now run by more professionals, more algorithms that do more daily trading through the weekdays, right? So as you can see, Mondays and Tuesdays have the highest volume in terms of the days of the week. Okay, and then the Wednesdays and the Thursdays have a decent amount. Friday gets lower, and then Saturday and Sunday it really just drops off. Okay. So what that tells me is, more than likely, whatever this market is going to make up its mind with today, which is more than likely down, that's probably going to be the trend, going into the weekend. So with that being said, this candle, if it closes as is, I expect a follow-up candle to more than likely be bearish. Just in case it's bullish, like I said, it's probably going to target that $8,700 marker. Maybe with a wick and then push back down. I really don't see this market pushing back up, at least not yet, until it either grabs more liquidity down here in this area, which is maybe 7,000, low 7,000s or high 6,000s, and then pushing back up. Or if it goes up, it's gonna get a very rocket-like candle that's really just going to surprise everyone. Okay, it's probably going to be a candle like this, more than likely, if there's going to be a bullish candle. So I wouldn't even, try to sort of question the validity of the bullish candle if there is going to be a big bullish candle. All right, because if it's going to be a big bullish candle, its job is going to be to, inflict as much pain as possible on the shorts, make them capitulate into longs, and then drive this price up really fast, really hard. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see 9,500 or something, 9,750 in less than 3 days. Okay, but again, unlikely as of right now. You can see the sell side volume had stepped up last week. This week is coming to an end. Really no buying happening, right? At least nothing significant. Okay. I think that's it. I mean, quick analysis, right? I don't see any other opportunities. Let me see if I can show you guys anything else. Yeah, nothing useful on the RSI right now. The stochastics were, looking decent up here, but on the smaller time frames, I was actually watching the stochastics, and I also saw that there's a trend line coming about, and also we were reaching into this red block, so I felt more comfortable safing. Again, in the advantage community, folks, what you get is not only the trades, but you get analysis multiple times a day. You can see I post multiple updates to keep the community engaged. This is like every few hours, as you can see, right? And then at night I post another video for our advantage members. So, I may do these public videos every few days, but if you come join Advantage, right, you get all this information, okay? You get to have a community where you don't feel lost and where you can ask questions, you can talk with people throughout the night, those who are learning or those who have been trading in the markets for a couple months, maybe a couple of years. So just a ton of information, that people like to help out with, people from all over the world, different walks of life, right? So this is something that we pride ourselves on. We really don't react with, the crypto Twitter people of the world. We don't, shill other projects or anything. We just like to trade, be happy, and learn and grow, okay? So if you like that kind of community, folks, Cryptosomniac.com, products page, advantage membership, or technical analysis course, and then just shoot me a message. I'm right here. Okay? Take care, cheers, and I'll talk to you all soon.